This is the Georgia Farm Monitor. Since 1966, your source for state and national agribusiness news, and features for farmers and consumers about Georgia's #1 industry, agriculture. The Georgia Farm Monitor is produced by the state's largest general farm organization, the Georgia Farm Bureau. Now, here are your hosts, Ray DeLessio and Kenny Burgamy.
And with that, we begin another 30 minutes of all the latest happenings and changes coming to Georgia agriculture. Welcome to the latest installment of the Georgia Farm Monitor. I'm Ray DeLessio.
And I'm Kenny Burgamy. Yeah, the most notable change, of course, a new Farm Bureau president, both on the national level and here in Georgia. And coming up, AFBF President Zippy Duvall on what that new title means to him and what we can expect in the coming years under his leadership.
Also on the program, my first attempt at both cooking and eating paella. Yeah, true story, never had it before. A simple yet tasty recipe using Georgia-grown products.
And speaking of Georgia-grown, Peach County's own Betty Cantrell, also known as Miss America 2016. She tells the Monitor how she's promoting healthy choices by way of Georgia's #1 industry, agriculture. All this and more starting right now on the Georgia Farm Monitor.
Well, if there was ever an example of someone climbing the American Farm Bureau ladder, it's Georgia's own Zippy Duvall. From chairing the YF&R committee in the late 80s until now, the 12th president of American Farm Bureau Federation, Mr. Duvall has accomplished what he set out to do, and that's, in his own words, get outside his fence rows and make a difference. In his first public comments following his election, President Duvall spoke of his character and what this country's farmers and ranchers can expect from him in the coming years.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and privilege to present to you the President of American Farm Bureau Federation for a 2-year term, Zippy Duvall.
What you'll know about me is I'm a workaholic. I dairy for a living. I know what it is to work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week almost. It seemed like it was that way sometimes. You'd be walking around almost sleeping. And I've carried that into my business life as Farm Bureau President in Georgia, and I will carry that into my life as American Farm Bureau President. Farmers and ranchers across this country hold the same values that I do. We all think alike. We're all concerned about just about the same things, maybe at different stages and different levels are different. But we're all family people, family farms across this country that have the moral responsibility to feed a nation and assist feeding the world. And what an awesome responsibility they have, and they take it so seriously to make sure that they fulfill that obligation that they have. YF&R is a great program, just like it is. But what I heard from YF&R people across the country, and I've heard that for a long time, is, you know, once I get to that 35-year age and there's no contest and there's no committees, what do you do for me? How do you keep me included? I want to be part of this. And we're going to encourage counties to make an investment in the youth in this country to start developing leadership. We're going to encourage states to do that. That is the place I most enjoy talking, is with young people, because I love to encourage them. This is a great industry. What a way to raise your family and make a living. There's no better place in the world than to have the opportunity to make your living and raise your family than on the land and with the animals. And I want to be able to talk to them about what they got to do, just like my dad told me, what you got to do to get involved. And we want to make sure that we develop the programs or maintain the programs to encourage that. You know, that's a big part of who I am. I believe in faith, family, farm, and Farm Bureau. And you know, some people may say I wear it on my cuff, but I am who I am. The journey that I have been on, not just to this position, but as a farmer and a father and a husband and a friend to people, has made me realize that real peace and happiness does not come from material things. It comes from a belief, and my belief system is very strong, and I depend on it and pray to my Lord every day, especially on difficult issues, and I will not shy away from that. That's who I am. This country was built on those beliefs, and I think this country will be salvaged through those beliefs.
And we certainly wish President Duvall and his wife Bonnie the very best as they head off to Washington, D.C. Now, coming up next week on The Monitor, meet the man now tasked with replacing Zippy Duvall, new Georgia Farm Bureau President Gerald Long. His passion for the state's #1 industry and why he, too, is Farm Bureau proud. Again, that's next week right here on the Georgia Farm Monitor.
And of course, preparing the next generation of Farm Bureau leadership is critical for the well-being of the organization. At the American Farm Bureau's annual convention in Orlando, young farmers from around the country competed in many different events, and Georgia was well represented, as Mark Wildman reports.
The Young Farmer and Rancher program in Georgia and around the country is geared toward providing leadership, educational, and social opportunities for men and women between the ages of 18 and 35. In Orlando, Georgia was well represented in the discussion meet, the Excellence in Ag competition, and the Young Farmer and Rancher Achievement Award. The Excellence in Ag Award is an award geared to highlight an individual who supports Ag and Farm Bureau, but receives the majority of their income off the farm. UGA Extension Agent from Coweta County, Stephanie Butcher, represented Georgia.
I enjoy the opportunity to be able to talk to people about agriculture. I'm very passionate about the subject. I've grown up being interested in agriculture, and I'm very fortunate to be in a position where I can be an extension agent and be able to talk to people every day in my job about agriculture and also go back to the farm. So I basically live and work agriculture, and I really do enjoy it.
The discussion meet develops leaders by giving participants a topic and having them talk through ideas. Kyle Deacle from Habersham County represented the state.
I think that it's crucial for the sustainability and the progression of agriculture, not just for young people, but for the whole sector overall throughout our country, to have competitions like this and to highlight hot topic issues in agriculture.
There are several rounds of competition, and each round brings new ideas to help the industry.
A lot of people think it's a debate, but in actuality it's supposed to be a discussion, a vibrant discussion on issues, things that our county leaders debate every day: water rights, immigration, data, who owns the data, things like that. And they have some really intense conversations at these things.
Another area of competition was the Young Farmer and Rancher Achievement Award. Matt and Melissa Bottoms, fifth-generation farmers from Pike County, represented Georgia. Their farm consists of a fruit nursery and row crop operation, and over the years they have volunteered their time to further agriculture and to support Georgia Farm Bureau.
To be able to achieve the things that we have in the Young Farmer program and here on our farm, we've committed a lot of hours throughout the last 10 years and longer, but in our marriage the last 10 years that we've committed to working here on the farm, to late hours at night, getting up, hauling grain early in the morning or hauling plants early in the morning.
Young farmers from Georgia and around the country are here in Orlando not only competing for some very nice prizes, but they are also making important connections and gaining knowledge that will serve themselves and the organization for decades to come.
We've been competing for probably the last 4 or 5 years in the state, and you get to know some of the people and you get to know some of their tendencies and the issues that they really like to talk about. And that deal has grown probably from 18 to about 35 competitors in the state. Well, there's one from just about every state here at American Farm Bureau, and so it's going to be very interesting to see what they bring from their state, what agricultural issues and how they handle those in their own state, and that's very exciting to see.
Georgia can be very proud of all of their representatives in Orlando, and Farm Bureau is stronger because of the Young Farmer program. I'm Mark Wildman for the Georgia Farm Monitor.
All right, Mark, great job as always. Now, coming up next on the Monitor, meals from the field and a recipe which one could say is the Spanish cousin to Southern jambalaya. Stay tuned. And And we're back on the Georgia Farm Monitor. Hey, big congratulations to Paulding County Farm Bureau, one of only 28 counties nationwide to be presented with the American Farm Bureau's County Activities of Excellence Award at this year's National Convention. AFBF liking their concept of the local farmers market, a project made possible by the students at Paulding County High School.
Several years ago, our board wanted to promote the people who grew products in our county. So we developed a farmers market, and this is an expansion to that and has really benefited because now we are on the high school campus and we have a lot of traffic. About 64,000 people go by there every day.
After a 2-month hiatus, it is back. Meals from the Field, episode 31 to be exact. Hard to believe we are starting our 4th season.
Hard to believe.
And my good friend Marsha Crowley has yet to kick me out of her kitchen.
And you haven't kicked me out either, so.
So good to see you. How was your holidays?
It was great.
Oh, you give me the bro love there, man.
The bro.
Give me some bro love there, all right. But no, welcome back, everybody, to the Georgia Farm Monitor and to another edition of Meals from the Field. Kind of a little different Meals from the Field this month because nothing is in season right now.
Nothing's in season.
So when I called Marsha last week and asked her what we were making, she said we're making paella.
And I won't tell them what you said.
And I asked what paella was, and I hate to admit it, but I didn't know what paella was, but I do now. So, and I'm looking forward to trying it.
It's very good.
I'm a Midwest guy. I grew up on the East Coast as well. You know, we ate Italian food growing up, so I never was subjected to this kind of stuff. And now I love it, just smelling it. So
well,
I can't wait.
It's a Spanish rice dish, but there's no reason it couldn't be a Southern dish because it's got rice and chicken and shrimp and sausage, everything we love down here.
Okay.
All right, this pan is heated up.
All right.
I'm going to let you pour this rice in.
All right.
And this is a yellow rice with saffron, and you can buy it in a bag. It's all together. All right. I'm going to just kind of brown that, and I'm going to add garlic and crushed red pepper. I might need to turn that up a little bit. You kind of brown this for about 20 minutes, I guess. And we'll let that brown a little bit before we add the chicken broth. And over here, I've got 1.5 pounds of cubed chicken that's been marinated in paprika, olive oil, and oregano. You just marinate that overnight. All right, we're going to add to that some smoked sausage cubed up. And this actually is Georgia sausage, believe it or not. So you kind of browning all that together, mix that together. We're going to add red pepper. How are we doing over there, Ray? You might want to stir that.
Let me stir that for you.
Stir that. You're falling down on the job. Are you going to stir this? The chicken should be just about done, but we're going to give it just another more minutes for the sausage and peppers. It's got onions in here. You will need 2 frying pans or a big skillet. That's looking pretty good right there. Go ahead and put the chicken broth in. So this is 2 cups of uncooked rice to 4 cups of chicken broth. You just pour that in there.
The whole thing?
The whole thing. That's 4 cups right there. Let's make sure this is, there we go. And you're going to add to that
I feel like I'm changing my oil.
Well, I hope not. Right, you're going to add to that, while we're stirring it, 1 cup of chopped parsley.
All right, and the parsley.
It's right there.
Right here.
And who knew parsley did anything other than garnish? It's so underrated. It's very high in vitamin C. I didn't know that. Did you?
No.
All right. When that comes to a boil, we're going to put the lid on it and let it cook for 20 minutes.
Okay. So we're going to imagine like it's coming to a boil.
It's coming to a boil. I'm going to turn it down a little bit.
All right. We'll go ahead and put that lid back on.
All right. Now the sausage and the chicken and the peppers and the onion are cooking over here. When that is just about done or is done, you're going to add about 1 pound of shrimp, and you're going to cook that until the shrimp are pink. That means they're done. Let's see, I had a lid somewhere. It doesn't matter.
Then take that lid away?
No, that's good. When the rice is done, you're going to add all of this to the rice mixture.
Okay.
And there you have the finished product right there.
Nice.
And all you need to serve with this is French bread.
There you go.
And this dessert, I love. It's so easy. We're going to make a quick and easy frozen dessert. This is the bottom of a crust. You can do these individually.
Okay.
The kids would love to do this. This is rice cereal, pecans, melted butter, and brown sugar. You can put that in the bottom of a little cup, decorative cup. It doesn't even have to be decorative. This is whipping cream and mini marshmallows.
Okay, so it's not ice cream, it's whipping cream.
No,
Okay.
and like someone said earlier today, it's bad. It's so good, it's bad. Not the healthiest of desserts, but goes very good with this. It's light. And then on top of that, you're going to use fruit pie filling. This just happens to be blueberry, but you do peach, cherries, apple, whatever. And you refrigerate that till you are ready to serve it. And it does go really good with this Spanish / could be Southern dish.
Wow, and what's the name of the dessert again?
It is a quick and easy dessert.
Quick and easy dessert, okay.
Quick and easy dessert.
Quick and easy dessert, and that is very quick.
I mean, you could even put crushed cookies on the bottom, you know. But a couple of people here earlier before y'all got here snuck in and had some of that whipped cream mixture, and they went nuts. So
very nice.
Anyway, this recipe feeds about 6 people.
6 people.
Very filling. It freezes well. It's a really good dish.
All right, and folks, as we always say, you can find all these recipes by logging on to gfb.org/recipes. Everything is there in detail for you.
Everything.
Papaya, what is it?
Paella.
Paella.
Close.
That's a joke. That's a joke. Marcia, thanks so much.
Thank you,
I
Ray.
appreciate it. Good to see you again, and we'll see you next month.
Ray and Marcia, great stuff as always. Well, when we come back, a conversation with Miss America Betty Cantrell, a true Georgia peach who actually grew up in Peach County, how she's using her love of agriculture to promote healthy choices. Stay with us.
Your new Miss America is Miss Georgia, Betty Cantrell.
She grew up on a 700-acre farm near Warner Robins in the heart of central Georgia, and now takes a homegrown message across the country. Since winning the Miss America crown last September, Betty Cantrell started her year of service on a national tour, sharing her remarkable vocal performances. And serving as National Goodwill Ambassador for the Children's Miracle Network Hospitals. She speaks to audiences on her platform, Healthy Children, Strong America.
So my platform started out being called Healthy Georgia, Strong America, because I'm from Georgia, and Georgia is the second most obese state, so it really seemed like a relevant issue in our state. But then when I went to the Miss America national level of competition, I changed it to Healthy Children, Strong America. Number one, because of my passion for kids. I've always loved kids. And number two, because our generation could be the first to not outlive our parents because of childhood obesity. And that's something that really hit home for me, and I think is relevant not only in our country, but all over the world. And it's so important to use those Georgia resources that we have in agriculture and in our farms. Growing up on a farm and in a very health-conscious household, it just seemed like the right idea for me to have that sort of platform because of the difference that I can make not only in my state, but in the whole country about taking those Georgia fresh fruits and vegetables straight from the farms directly to the tables and into the schools of our state and our country.
There is another message Cantrell has for young audiences, too.
My platform's not only about eating healthy and exercising, it's about helping kids to be happy in their minds, because when you're happy, you're going to eat healthier. So if a kid is getting bullied, or if a child is going through something like divorce in their family, like that's something that I've been through, I really want to make sure that they're talking to someone about that and making sure that they're happy so that they can eat healthy, because I talk about in the schools, when you're sad, you eat chocolate and you eat ice cream. So it's really important for them to be happy and make sure that they're talking to someone about their problems and their issues, so they can be healthier with their bodies.
And when she finishes her role as Miss America and completes her education at Macon's Mercer University,
Probably the best experience I've had so far was at the CMAs because I am aspiring to have a career in Broadway or in singing. It was really cool to meet some of the idols that I've looked up to since I was little, especially the country singers, because they were so friendly and down to earth, and a lot of them are from Georgia, so it's really cool to see people from my area making it in the career path that I want.
As we all know, agriculture is an ever-changing industry.
Yeah, that's why every year thousands of fruit and vegetable producers from all around the Southeast gather in Savannah to hear about the latest research and check out the newest technology. Damon Jones has the story.
With more than 350 vendors, 13 different educational sessions, and plenty of experts to bounce ideas off of, the 2016 Southeast Regional Fruit and Vegetable Conference had whatever the more than 3,000 producers in attendance were looking for. And the big reason for all the diversity is, of course, the variety of crops grown here in the Southeast.
You can't just package all of that into one area, so you want to make sure our muscadine growers are getting the information they need, the strawberry growers are getting the information they need. So it's very important to make sure we've got a good cross-section of information for all growers.
Gathering information to help them on the farm is the main goal for all those in attendance. That can be achieved not only by attending some of the informational sessions and trade show, but also just talking to those around you.
You know, networking is one of the key elements. People meet their old friends here, they meet their other growers in the area, they meet other growers that are growing the same commodity, and they can share how they're doing or how they're working with a certain particular commodity, a certain particular problem.
The roadside market session is one that is always well attended, as many producers would like to sell their produce directly. That not only cuts out the middleman, but also builds a relationship within the community.
We need to get the general public back in connection with the farm itself. And they need to have an experience where their children will be glad, whatever the case may be, just to get them back out to the farm so that we don't lose that connection between farmers and consumers.
Howard James of Jibb's Vineyards was one of many speakers who own successful markets. As for what advice he would give to those looking to start one up,
give more than what they buy, and it tends to lead people back a second time. You doesn't lose, you actually increase in that sense. As far as relationship, once again, comfort, peace of mind, and just a sense of joy and having fun.
With agriculture being an ever-evolving industry, it's more important than ever for producers to take full advantage of these type of conferences.
Crops change every year, varieties, pests, so all of that, every year there's some type of different pest management needs. You've got the different seed trial varieties going on, so there's all sorts of different areas where the growers need to be up to date.
While things like regulatory issues and marketing were discussed, the loss of one fumigate system in particular was on the forefront. Fortunately, farmers now have options.
We have good, effective fumigate systems that can be used to replace methyl bromide. We just have to be a little better managers and a little more timely. And the focus points is helping those growers adopt these alternatives and really not miss a beat as we transition out of methyl bromide into new, more environmentally friendly alternatives to methyl bromide.
Those advances and many others were on full display at this year's conference. It's the main reason attending this event is becoming a necessity.
Over the last 9 years, we have brought 30 now new herbicide labels to our vegetable growers. And if you don't come to meetings like this, a lot of times you miss out. And when you get a new herbicide in a vegetable crop, that's a big deal because it could save you hundreds of dollars per acre hand weeding and improve your production practices.
Reporting from Savannah, I'm Damon Jones for the Georgia Farm Monitor.
Well, finally today, as one of the contributors to this program would say, this next story is outstanding.
Ranger Nick, right?
Yes.
All right, yeah, check this out. A rare sighting in Canada recently when a Montreal traffic camera captured a quick shot of a snowy owl in full flight coming right at the camera. The reason it's rare is because snowy owls are hardly ever seen in that area, especially during this time of year because they tend to migrate south. It's widely believed the owl came across the camera while looking for a place to hunt.
Yeah, just as long as he's not trying to hunt me.
It's a beautiful animal.
Yeah, that's going to do it for this week's edition of the Georgia Farm Monitor.
Take care, everybody. We'll see you next week right here on the Georgia Farm Monitor.
Have a great week.